country honours.
I call Sue Moroney.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And on the first occasion that I've spoken in Parliament during this parliamentary term, can I take the opportunity to congratulate you in your role and all of the team from the Speaker's office. I look forward to a rewarding year of debate under your direction. And can I also take the opportunity to congratulate all returning members who have been elected to this House again for this parliamentary term, and again say that I look forward to engaging with all returning members in a high level of debate, because we have many important issues in front of us. I want to particularly congratulate the new members of Parliament. We've had many fine maiden speeches already, and I look forward to the balance resuming this afternoon. I do want to say that the last three speakers in this debate have been pretty interesting, because I think they've actually personified the arrogance of the second term of the National-led government. We've had Jonathan Coleman, we've had Todd McClay and Nick Smith. Arrogance personified of this new national government. And in fact, Dr Smith just finished, spent much of his debate pouring scorn on the local bodies up and down this country, and then not telling us what he was prepared to do about the problem he was identifying. And isn't that typical of the arrogance of the National Party? To identify all the problems, say that it's all Labour's fault, and then not have one plan or one specific idea about what they were going to do with the problem that Dr Smith had spent almost all of his 10 minutes actually enlarging on. But it does make me wonder what is waiting in the wings there, and I get the very clear impression that wage cuts for people working for local bodies is very much on the agenda of the National Party. And looking at the body language of the members opposite, I'd say I can now definitely confirm that wage cuts for that sector are very much on the agenda. So New Zealand families won't be relishing the prospect of even less money going into the pockets of families in their communities, and therefore winding down services even further into their communities. But that's what we've got ahead of us. However, Mr Speaker, having said that, I start this parliamentary term being remarkably optimistic, actually. Call me Pollyanna if you like, but I am optimistic about this year, because things have to get better. They can't get worse. Things must get better for New Zealand this year, in 2012. This is the year that the government gets to come good on its promise to build and deliver that brighter future that it has promised to New Zealand. 2012 is New Zealand's year, because this is the year that they must get it right. The government must get it right, because this has been dragging on for too long. It's been dragging on for too long that unemployment has continued to go through the roof in this country. It has dragged on for too long that costs continue to escalate. It has been dragging on for too long that there is no plan coming from the government to actually rectify those issues that families and ordinary working people face every day of their lives. Because, yes, they have lost their jobs. And yes, Mr Speaker, where they have been lucky enough not to lose their jobs, they have lost hours and therefore income. But have their costs decreased? No way. In fact, cost increases, thanks to that government and their decision, without consulting the New Zealand public, to increase GST on everything that those families have to purchase, their costs have continued to increase much more dramatically than their incomes have. And in fact, for those families, those thousands of families who now find themselves in the dole queue, and for those other thousands of families who find that their hours have been cut over the last 3 years at work and therefore their incomes have reduced, they've faced a double whammy. They've faced the double whammy of losing income and having costs increased. And the members opposite might sit there and think, well, that's not our fault. They may well think that it's some external thing, the global recession. But they all voted, oh, well, there you go, and according to the new member, it's the Labour Party's fault. Well, you know, blame whatever you like. Labour Party, the global recession. Look, you're running out of excuses because this is the year that you must, sorry, Mr Speaker, not you, that the government must get it right because for too long New Zealanders have been suffering from a lack of a plan from our government. So this is the year that I'm optimistic they must come out with a plan. They must tell us what the plan is, and it can't be asset sales. It cannot be asset sales because it's really clear, and the vast majority of New Zealanders already know this, that asset sales is not the way out. It's not the way out, but it is always the answer from the National Party because it's exactly the same solution they came up with in the 1990s and before that. And it never fails to surprise me, and I guess I should get over this, but it never fails to surprise me how often, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are, the National Party always comes up with the same solution, always. And the solution is this: cut taxes, cut public services, and then sell your assets. They did it in the 1990s and they're doing it again now. It is the only formula they know. They roll it out under every single circumstance, and Maurice Williamson knows it. He was involved in it as a minister last time, and he's going, wow, is this ever deja vu? This was happening the last time that Maurice Williamson was in Cabinet, and here we go again. So Maurice Williamson knows all about this, and it hasn't been a good start, though. As optimistic as I'd like to be, the government has not made a good start. Just look at the shambles of what's been happening this year. Look already just this week, their asset sales agenda is looking a bit shaky. I think $10 million was the highest estimate that they gave that they were going to reap from those sales. Not only do New Zealanders not want their assets to be sold, and they don't want to buy them because they already own them, but now they're realising that the financial implications on which the whole financial case on which it's been based is actually quite shaky. And we've seen that again this week. But also what we've seen this week is that John Key's come a bit of a cropper on his election advert hour with Radio Live. A whole hour of election adverts that he claimed was not an election advert and turns out to be exactly that. But that's not all. Talk about broadcasting scandals this week, because the other scandal is that his electorate chairman appears to have been involved with politically interfering in the use of taxpayer money for, they are in donkey deep. So broadcasting's been a pretty big issue already this week, so the government hasn't got off to a good start. And then there's the shambles over the Crayford Farms decision. Shambles over that, because the High Court, the judiciary for goodness sake, has come to save the public, the New Zealand public, from its own government. The judiciary has had to step in and do what that government should be doing on behalf of New Zealanders, because it's the judiciary who's had to say that the government has not made the right decision and the best decision in the economic interests of New Zealanders. The judiciary has had to instruct that government to go back and think about New Zealanders first. That's what's happened this week. That's exactly what's happened this week. And I know that what Nationals try to say is, oh, well, Labour did it too. Actually, A, not good enough, and B, wrong. Because what Labour did was on many occasions overturned the advice that we got from the OIO. We didn't just go, oh, well, look, if you guys say that's it, then that's good enough for us, hands behind our back, sit on our hands, do nothing about it. We were prepared to put New Zealanders' interests first, and the Auckland International Airport, Mr Williamson, would probably be the most high-profile ones of those decisions, but there were several others. So the pretense from that side, from the government, saying, oh, well, we're just doing what Labour did, wrong. Absolutely wrong. And they're not going to get away with it, because New Zealanders know that this smells. They know the smell of their interest being put last when they see it. Can you smell it when you see it? Maybe not the right analogy. But New Zealanders get this. They absolutely know that this government has not put their interests first. The judiciary know that this government has not put the New Zealanders' interests first. And how embarrassing for that government to be instructed to go back and do what it was elected to do, put New Zealanders' interests first. And so I look forward to the overturning of that decision, because Labor got this right from the start. We understood
Sorry,
that
order.
those...
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. Her time has expired.
Mr. Speaker.
I call Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi.